This simple wooden box is a death trap, and that's how it should be, according to Uffe STRANDBY.
It has been hit directly in the head. That's perfect.
Instant death for this American mink, an invasive species and pest in Denmark. STRANDBY and his colleagues do their best to trap and kill them. They've caught 500 over the past 2 years.
Yeah. Congratulations. One down. This is a success. It's great.
The Danish Nature Agency hopes to protect animals, the native species.
We have moved one non-resident predator from the Danish nature. That's excellent. Yes. It's obvious that the population we do have in the Danish nature comes from releases or escapes from the mink farms. We don't know the extent today. We don't know how many minks escape from the farms or are being released by activists today.
The reason for STRANDBY's problem is that American mink provide the raw materials for the fur industry, which is booming in Denmark.
But she is a little bit curious
KNUD owns one of Denmark's 1,500 mink farms. He keeps 25,000 animals in his cages, and he says he hasn't had any escape.
Yeah, don't bite. We protect the mink by having them inside.
But that has little to do with the animal's natural environment. It's about business. Denmark is one of the world's largest mink fur producers, and it's trendy again. There are still people with strong moral objections, but the Danes have never been that strict about it. Even Denmark's Queen Margrethe likes to wear luxurious furs. Vest once had the opportunity to thank her for her support. But what's good business for the mink farmers is horrifying to animal rights activists. They've been protesting against the mink farms for years. Some activists even break into the farms and set the mink free. Vest says the case is clear.
There is wild mink, but the major part of them come from those activists who released mink in areas. And we have tried to catch them very quickly, as much as possible.
STRANDBY doesn't like to hear that. He has to try to capture the escaped mink, and he'd prefer to do less of that. He has to cover several hundred kilometers, and he and his colleagues monitor about 150 traps. Some are in places the mink can access better than people can.
No, the mink was lucky today.
But the mink has left its tracks.
And what you see here on this map is that all the red crosses are places where we have put up traps, kill traps. And this is an area where there's a high chance of finding wild mink population.
The American mink are aggressive carnivores that raid nests and kill far more prey than they can ever eat. The invasive species upsets the ecological balance. Releasing them into their non-native territory is bad for local fauna. The Danish Animal Welfare Society doesn't have any clear solutions. BRIGITTE DAMM says it isn't the group's policy to condone the release of mink from farms by activists, but the society has 75,000 members, and there's no way of knowing how individuals react to the terrible images from the farms.
There's, to our knowledge, only been very few of these actions. It seems like there's a lot of talk about this releasing, freeing actions, but very little is taking place.
STRANDBY knows that the wild mink population can be traced back to the mink farms, going back generations. Many animals apparently manage to escape through holes in their cages. This time, though, he's only caught a rat.
A big rat.
Most mink farmers are, of course, interested in minimizing the escapes, the release to the nature. I mean, they have an economical interest.
The men bag their American mink, the only one they've caught today. Uffe STRANDBY says it won't be possible to completely wipe out the invasive species, but he hopes to minimize the problem and damage caused by the mink.